Welcome to Sleek Notes E-Commerce Boost Podcast, your chance to learn from the e-commerce experts so you can boost your business.
Hey guys, today's episode is all about social media, and I've interviewed Jeff Bullas, who's an absolute expert on this subject. Jeff will give you excellent tips on how to rise in the ranks on your social media channel so you can create great brand awareness for your e-commerce. Let's do it. So, Jeff, welcome so much on the show. I'm really happy to have you here.
Great to be here.
In this interview, we're going to go in depth with social media marketing for e-commerce. So, just to begin with, can you just start out by introducing yourself?
I'm Jeff Bullas, and I started a little passion project about 9 years ago, and we just started blogging about social media and how to use social media for business and building a personal brand. And today we have about 560,000 Twitter followers, 100,000 Facebook fans, and about 4 million visitors a year to the blog. We've had about 25 million people drop in and say hi and read my content since then. So it's been sort of like the passion project escaped the lab. So, yeah.
Wow, really impressive. So can you just start off by explaining how e-commerce sites can benefit from social media marketing?
One of the original benefits and big promises of social media wasn't a promise, it was just what they did, was to actually build your own distribution to the world without having to pay for attention or beg for permission from the big media players. So that's what excited me right from the word go, and also it's become something that's helped a lot of online stores and e-commerce sites build their own brand awareness online, build credibility and trust with content that's shared on social media, and also do that without having to pay for it.
Cool. And you just mentioned Twitter, but what social media platforms do you see as the most powerful?
It depends on who you are. So if you're a fashion blogger, then something like Instagram or Facebook or even Snapchat or Pinterest is going to be useful. If you're basically in other areas, if you're more business B2B, then you're going to find something like LinkedIn is going to be better for you. So it's not one size fits all for social media for businesses. You've got to work out where does your audience hang out, and then choose the platform that best meets your audience or can meet your audience. Yeah, that's important to do.
Why did you decide to go for Twitter?
I just liked its authenticity, and I still think that it's kept a lot of that today, because it's just 100, and it's also very simple, 140 characters. You can, write something briefly. You can actually then put a link in so people can actually read an article. You write a headline, put a link to an article, and people can read the rest there. You can now include images, of course, and videos. So Twitter's, and also it's very global. It's also very instant. And that's what I really love about it. It also still continues to be quite organic. So what Facebook has done, it's almost removed any organic reach except for the big mass media and influencers that, like I suppose singers and that sort of thing. But it still has quite organic reach for people. So I do like that because Facebook especially has actually cut down organic reach for most brands, and you have to pay for attention. And when social media started out, it really was very organic, and that's what I loved about it. And I still think that's a big benefit of social media today. But you've got to know how to use it. LinkedIn, for example, is another platform that has tweaked its algorithm and allows a lot of people actually to reach audiences without having to pay for it as well, and also allows content to be earned or attention to be earned. I think it's important to understand that, you can do two things. One, you can pay for attention, and that's great, or you can actually earn it. And, you can earn attention by building authority with, search engines like Google, so you can get found in searches. So it depends on what your budget is. Whether you've got time and no money, so you can earn attention, or whether you've got plenty of money but no time, and then you can actually accelerate building brand awareness and sales through actually paying for Facebook ads and Google AdWords, for example.
In your opinion, should you then use social media profiles to sell or to interact with the audience or to promote content, or how do you see that?
All of the above. Social media can be used to actually generate leads for your business. I use that all the time. I send out regular tweets to download a free ebook, for example. People need to give their email address to do that, so I can build my email list. Typically, you don't sell straight off a tweet or off off social media, but you can actually send people to a video. You can actually then educate and then actually have a call to action at the end and can sell stuff. So it does all of the above. But you've got to build credibility and trust, and videos can do that very, very well if you're basically going to sell something. But essentially, to sell something, you need a lot of the time to send people into a sales funnel to actually start the buying process, because no one buys like from anyone that says, just buy from me now. And that's the same in business. You've actually got to earn credibility and trust.
Yeah, because let's pretend I own an e-commerce and I'm on, let's say, Facebook. What would you say I should share on there? A bit of everything, or should I have a clear goal?
Well, you've got to work out what your chief goals are. You might be initially wanting to build brand awareness, so you might have some fun videos, you might have product reviews. So, that's one goal, okay, building brand awareness. Number two, you might want to just capture leads, okay, so that you actually can continue to communicate and have a conversation with people that potentially might want to buy in the future. They mightn't be ready to buy today, so you need to actually start that as well. Or you might actually have a really good offer, 50% off, and then you actually can use social media to send out an advert on a Facebook ad and actually put that offer in front of the target audience you want to reach. So social media can do all of those.
To really get success on social media, we wanted to know how important it is to engage the users. Other than engagement, what other things are important for building your relationship with a potential customer? Here's Jeff's answer.
Engagement means you just got their attention. So in other words, you might want to share something like a positive review about your product, or you might want to share an interview which talks about the industry. So engagement is just a start of the process of building credibility and trust. So in other words, you've got to get their attention first. So an engagement is a big word, but it's all about getting people's attention first, and then solving their problems, entertaining them, educating them, all of the above. But you need to make sure that you continue the sales process after engagement, because if you just do engagement but nothing else, then it's basically a waste of time, because someone needs to pay the bills for the business. Engagement's good, and it's just the start of I suppose, building that relationship with a potential customer.
And then once they've engaged, what about liking or commenting or sharing? How important is it to get a lot of likes or shares or comments?
They're all got different value. Likes are a very, almost a superficial level of engagement. Comments are a deeper level of engagement. Someone sharing is nice, but it doesn't. All of those are important. And different people do different things in their engagement. So all of them are important. Comments are really good because people actually care enough to spend the time to do something. A like is just a quick click. So you got to be careful that you just don't get stuck in vanity metrics, which likes are sit in that bucket, because likes are nice, but a lot of people, that's all they do is just go and like stuff and never do anything. They're not, but it's actually, that's building brand awareness, because I said, that's, this site, like what they did, I'm actually going to like this. I think it's good product or a good service. It's just the start.
Yeah, and what metrics do you then go for to indicate success or a great post on your social media?
The place we start is with page views. Then we look at sharing as another one, and then we look at conversions as another one. So there's a whole bunch of different metrics that actually are important. And then at the end of the day, do they actually buy the product that you've educated them about in a blog post, or have they downloaded an ebook? So it could be, success could be capturing an email address, building that list. So at the end of the day, that's can be the main first goal, and then it goes from there.
Cool. So once they've interacted with your content or shared it or whatever, how do you then follow up on whatever lead you get or information you get about them? How do you then make sure to follow up and make sure they go down your path?
Okay, so what you do is you would, for example, you've got their email address, and then you might take them down a set sales funnel, which could be a series of emails, which goes from giving away something for free, then giving away something more, then maybe another product. Then it might be sending them to a webinar, and then it could be a call to action at the end of the webinar to actually buy something or buy a service or download an online or buy an online education site. So, yeah, it depends on also the price. If you're selling something expensive online, you might be that you actually want to capture a lead that actually turns into an appointment. And that's a different sales funnel in its own right. So it depends on where you want to take them. It depends on the type of sales funnel that you build out.
Yeah, makes sense. So I'm really interested in learning more about how to build a large follower base. So what are your experiences here?
You need to build a follower base. I do it in a variety of ways or in a variety of platforms. Over the years, we've built followers on Twitter, and that is people that follow you. Now, some people don't use Twitter very often. They might only come in once a week, once a month. Some people come in every day. Some people come in every few hours. So you got to actually build, and right from the start, I actually decided that I'd build a Twitter following. So that can be done by following the followers of influencers in your industry. The law of reciprocation looks after the rest. In other words, if you follow someone, they'll check you out and going, oh, Jeff followed me. I'll check out his site. Oh, it looks interesting. I'll follow him back. Or they look at your Twitter stream and going, I like the content he's sharing, so I'll follow you back as well. The other strategy would be that you might want to build an email list. So you have pop-ups. You might have calls to action on your website, on the side banner, bottom of posts. You might have an exit on intent from Opt-in Monster that you actually use to give away something for free, like a cheat sheet on how to use Twitter, download a free ebook on how to grow your blog traffic or website traffic. And then you actually give that ebook away in exchange for an email address. And then you can continue to actually, as you build your email list, then you need to keep communicating and adding value to people's lives until they actually see that you have something they might want to purchase from you because you've built that trust and credibility through that ongoing communication.
Cool. And through that communication, or I'm thinking, if an e-commerce is sending out newsletters to all of their customers or subscribers, would you then make them aware of your social media to drive them there, or is that an option or not?
You can do it in a variety of ways. So you might want to, in your newsletter, say, look, if you think this content's really good, share it on your social media channels. You might have built-in buttons on your newsletter that people can share that content via email, via SMS, via it could be WhatsApp. They might want to share it on Facebook. So you basically want to give people make it easy for them to actually share your content. And also you might want to make sure that people do read your content as well. So you can do a variety of things once people actually receive information from you. And it depends on what your goals are.
Sure. Do you have any other ideas as to how to build a follower base? So we've spoken about Twitter, let's say Facebook. How do you build a large following there?
Building a large following on Facebook's not such a biggie because the organic reach has been reduced, but building a follower base on Twitter can be very important, and building a follower base on LinkedIn or connections on LinkedIn is important because people will see updates. So basically what you're trying to do is to get people to typically join your tribe, if you like, or follow you or sign up to your newsletter. One of the most important things is to have great content that solves people's problems and adds value to your possible customers' needs down the track. So you've got to put yourself in their shoes and actually create great content that adds value. And then it's about sharing that content continuously. So right from day one, I've been about creating the best content I possibly could that educates and helps people in their businesses how to grow their business, how to market using social media. So all the different ecosystem that sits around business growth in a digital world, we actually create content around that. So when people see that you're adding great value, then you build that credibility and trust, and then you've got a much better chance of actually getting them to buy something from you.
Sure. And as to social media in general, are there then any mistakes you should avoid or be aware of? Any no-goes?
Don't get involved in any discussions about religion or politics is one of my 2 golden rules. Those 2 areas, people have their own opinions about, and that's great. They don't need to be discussed. Basically, just use common sense, and sometimes common sense isn't that common. As we can see from a lot of people, will just get involved in terrible tirades on social media as if they're talking in a private party, but they're not. You're actually talking to the world. So don't create or write anything or don't say anything online that you wouldn't want to say to your mother, is another golden rule. So common sense should prevail, but sometimes there are a lot of people that just get into incredibly, I suppose, angry and opinionated. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, but show respect to humanity is very, very important.
So if you then have a post where like a mean or just not very nice thread starts in comments, would you then moderate it and start deleting comments?
If they're being abusive for no reason, they're just wanting attention, they're what you call trolls. And if you go and check their social media channels, you typically find they don't have any followers or very few. So I just don't give them any attention. And if it's abusive and it's terrible, I will delete it. It comes down to, happy to share information. People can have their opinions, but if they end up being abusive, I typically don't go in and delete stuff, but I just don't respond to their stuff. I don't give them oxygen.
And just to sum up, is there anything you see as the latest trends or additions to the social media universe that sort of e-commerce marketers should know about?
The use of artificial intelligence to gain insight about your audience and about from your data. AI is going to be a big part of digital marketing in the future. It's starting to make its way with chatbots and things like that, and also information about data that will help basically provide more relevant information for your audience. So artificial intelligence is going to have a big role to play in the future. It's starting to make its presence felt now. And also marketing automation. But marketing automation has been around a while now, but marketing automation is important in terms of being able to scale your efforts.
Perfect. Jeff, thank you so much for your time. That was really, really interesting.
Okay, it's been a pleasure and great to be on the show.
That's all for now. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and give Ecommerce Boost a nice rating. That way, you'll help fellow marketers find this resource faster. Cheers!
This session of E-Commerce Boost was produced by Sleeknote. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on tactics and strategies that'll help boost your e-commerce.